talk about MOLLE panels and why they're important. So, when you have a truck like the Moose, sometimes you gotta clear some trails. So this little Milwaukee here. Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about some of the MOLLE panels I have in the Moose build, and then some of the different things that I use them for. So we're going to be talking about some of the different MOLLE panel options that I have within the Moose build here. I'm going to be mentioning some of the different companies, showing you guys kind of some of the stuff I have on them. Then we're going to be talking about like different ways to mount stuff and how useful they are. So let's get into it. All right, so this truck has a ton of different MOLLE panels in it. If you don't know what a MOLLE panel is, it's a military acronym. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's basically, you've seen them before, I'm sure, you know, these like blocked square panels that have, you know, a bunch of different mounting points to them. And basically it just allows you to mount all kinds of different things to them. So a couple of the companies that I have in here, I have the new Holland Overland panels that are custom made for this truck. I have the Grayman Tactical panels behind the seats. I have the new Hampshire Overland panels underneath the seats and above the back here. And then finally in the bed, we do have a full set of Icky Concepts MOLLE panels. I did do a full video on the Icky Concepts MOLLE panels, so if you want to check them out, the card will be up here. Alright, so why spend the extra money to put MOLLE panels in your vehicle? Well, if you have a smaller vehicle such as a Tacoma, Jeep, 4Runner, any of those kind of things, space is really limited. Even inside this Ram 2500, I only have so much space that I could put things. So by mounting MOLLE panels in different places within your vehicle allows for a vertical placement of different objects, and we'll go through some of those. So as you can see over here, I have some MOLLE panels that were made by my buddy Jeremy over there at New Holland Overland. These ones he did make custom for the interior of this vehicle. I did paint them to kind of match the interior color of this truck. But as you can see here, I just have a couple pistol pouches that now they could be used for, you know, flashlights and all kinds of other different things. But these little square, I guess rectangle more like, holes allows you to kind of be able to mount, you know, whatever you want. And I'll show you some of the creative ways I've figured out how to mount stuff to them. So like I mentioned, there's a bunch of different ways to mount things to these type of panels. As you can see here on the driver's side, I have my Midland GMRS radio as well as a holster for whatever kind of handgun I'm carrying. And then, well, I should start by saying the Midland radio mount is actually just held up with zip ties, so that way I could get a precise mount, not having to drill anything, where the holster is just kind of strapped on by means of how it normally attaches to, you know, your thigh or whatever. Now down here you can see I have a kind of mini little fire extinguisher here, as well as a cat tourniquet, and those are just held on by what's called a boot blousing. My military guys will know what these are, but they basically keep your pant legs that tucked in look in your boots. But there's a ton of different options for these things, and I use them all kinds of different ways to mount things to my vehicle. And you can see over here I have a couple HSGI mag pouches for spare pistol mags, as well as a spare mag for the rifle. I do want to note down here, these panels are made by New Hampshire Overland. He makes a bunch of different kind of panels. So this is another product made by New Hampshire Overland, and it's basically this headliner, rear headliner panel. You can see that's my rear window of the truck, and on here I just have some 550, some adjustable tie downs, also using the boot band to kind of attach it to. You can also see I have a couple little S-hooks down here. This is just a GoPro mount, so that way I can either film things behind me or kind of things in front of me from a cab perspective. And then over here you can see I have a couple of these little quick fists mounts to hold my hatchet. So ton of different ways you can mount things to these MOLLE panels. And then kind of going in the back here are the Gray Man tactical panels. These are kind of a more popular one. They do offer a lot of different sizes in these panels, so that way you can find one kind of a custom to your vehicle. You can see here I have a small one, I believe it's their RMT series panels, which goes on the back of your headrest. I still need to get one for the other side, but that has my Mira safety gas mask on it. And then the Gray Man tactical panel has another rifle magazine, couple pistol mags, you know, you could use for whatever. A little radio for when you're talking outside the vehicle. And then a extra tarp, because I'm sure you guys can see the bed no longer has a rack or anything on it. So a lot of the things I've been having to move from the bed into the cab here. And of course I have my IFAC filled with all kinds of goody medical gear. And then on that side, from time to time I do keep other things in there, as you can see. And then continuing to the back here, I'm not going to go too in depth on these because I do have a full video on them, are the Icky Concepts bed MOLLE panels. So as you can see, these offer a ton of space. One of my favorite things about these is that they're dual-sided, so that way you can see in here plenty of room to mount things to get to the outlet in the bed, and then you still have a ton of space on the exterior to mount things. You can see I have a little pack out mounted over there, as well as my Auctiontrax, and then the shovel and axe go over there, as well as the fire extinguisher. Now he does have a more updated version of these out to where they don't wobble as much. That's one thing I have noticed. More so when I'm like hitting big bumps on trails and stuff like that, I'll hear just a little bit of wobble. It's not anything by means. I mean, these things are super sturdy, but yeah, being able to mount a bunch of things in the bed and keep them there at all times is a really nice feature to have. So now going back to on the in-bed panels by Icky Concepts, one thing you kind of will worry about from time to time is, oh, people are going to steal things. Now, of course, there's different ways to go about it. I like to use those little bike chains to kind of attach things, especially now with not having the topper yet and the bed rack on. It's not too hard for someone just to kind of reach in there and take things. However, a lot of the things that I keep in there are locked anyway. Well, anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps this up. I'll be sure to link to all these companies down below and the specific ones that I have within the truck. Most of these companies do make things for other vehicles, not just the Rams. So be sure to go check those out. And as always, if you like this content, you want to see more of the build, more hunting adventure content, overlanding, off-roading, all that kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe. I know a lot of the guys that are viewing the channel are not subscribed, so go ahead and get subscribed, join the Rebel Outdoors family, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.